There we go. Okay, so this goes with yesterday. So the biggest problem so far that students have had is not reading, and same with me. You are using the data, you are finding the equation of the line of best fit. So yesterday we did the correlation coefficient, today we're finding the line of best fit. So, stat edit, enter your data. If you've got more numbers than you did, you can press delete. So, I've already got my data entered for 1 and 2. And let me see if I can get where you can see my calculator. I don't know why it's kind of odd looking. It just is. So I've got mine in L1, L2, and L3, and L4. So you go to Stat, Calculate, number 4, and this is where you can tell where your data is. So if you ever end up deleting L1 or L2, you can tell it to find the equation of whatever it is. So mine's on L1 on L2. Enter, enter, enter. And so the next thing it tells you is to round to the nearest what. So each time it changes, so you can't assume it's all going to be all the same. Yesterday it was all of thousands. Today it's going to go from tenths, hundredths, and thousands. So hundredths, how many decimal places is that? 2. So if you want it to round, you go to mode, change it from float to 2, and then second quit, go back up, grab your function, press enter, enter again, and it'll have it rounded for you. So y equals negative 0.14 x minus 7.12. And what is the negative 0.14? What does that represent? Starts with the S. Yeah, that's your slope. And the negative 7.12 is your y-intercept. Is the points very close to that line? Is that a good fit? No. It's going to be negative. And notice that the slope is also negative. And 0.46 is not very strong. It's weak. Okay, number 2. So number 2 is where I often don't read. So make sure when it says you have number of chocolates sold S and the number of houses visited is N. So it's giving you the variables. So the number of houses visited is your N. The number of bars sold is your S. So instead of X, you're going to put N. Instead of Y, you're going to put S. So if you don't, it will count it incorrect, unfortunately. So stat edit, make sure you have your data in there. And again, on number 1, as I mentioned before we started recording, make sure to write that in a table, because this is your X and Y. Okay, so I'm going to go to stat calculate number 4, and I'm going to change where my data's at, so I don't have to retype all day. And this time we're rounded to the nearest what? 10th. Okay, so I'm still at 100. So if I want to round it to the nearest 10th, I go back to mode and change it from 2 to 1. And then go back up and grab it. And so y equals or s equals? S equals 2.9 n minus 4. So without rounding, you have negative 3.98. So the 2.85, the 5 makes the 8 go up to a 9. The 8 makes the 9 go up, which it can't, so it turns it into a 4. Just a reminder. And so nothing really new. We've already been able to do equations when given points. The difference between this and what we have done is if you're given a table, you have to put the entire table in, like we did yesterday. Okay? And then read the question and make sure you put an equation and not correlation coefficient.